Oh boy, I have been excited about this one. The New Balance FuelCell RC Elite version 2 is one hell of a fun shoe. This thick road beast brings a ton to the table for those looking to better their long distance PRs, crush a marathon, or just plain propel themselves down the road wrapped in joyful, springy goodness. The new version of the RC Elite features a thicker, bouncier fuel cell midsole that is incredibly soft and energetic. The swoop-shaped carbon plate isn't overpowering and feels legitimately right in a shoe for once, providing enough snap for speed and comfort for long hauls. The outsole is simple, but works, even in wet conditions, which is surprising, and the upper is soft, airy, and accommodating. But at $225, is the RC Elite version 2 enough of a joy to run in that it can justify the high price tag? Is all of the bounce really worth all of the hype? We're gonna find out in today's review. Let's dive in.
Ginger Runner.
What is up, everybody? Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, here for another Ginger Runner review. This one I'm excited about because it's a shoe that I've been running in for quite some time and really been enjoying. It's a road shoe from New Balance, the FuelCell RC Elite version 2. Purple Monster. Man, this thing is a bouncy, super cushioned, carbon-plated road beast, and I'm excited to finally talk about it. Of course, three things before we get into the review. The first two are going to be quite quick. GRGR registration is still open. There's about 10 t-shirt registrations available. That's going to be September 6th through 12th. We'd love to have you join us for GRGR this year. Tiger Claw registration is open. We are doing a 2021 event. There are registration spots open for that. And finally, I do have to point out that these shoes were provided for review by Running Warehouse. I'm under no obligation to say anything positive or negative about the shoe. I'm also not financially compensated for anything I say in this review. All opinions are my own. No one has to approve this video before it goes up on YouTube. You are the first that gets to view it. With all that said, let's start talking about this thing. As always, I like to talk about the things I like and dislike. Today, we're starting with the things that I like. Midsole. I have talked about fuel cell midsole in almost every New Balance shoe that I've reviewed in the last couple of years because I like it. I think the fuel cell midsole does a really great job. Both providing you with cushion and comfort underfoot and energy return. And you'll know what I'm talking about if you felt it before. I like it better than Fresh Foam. I think it has that bounce, that soft cushioning, but also the energy return. So you're not just like losing your foot in the shoe. And here in the RC Elite version 2, you got a lot of it underfoot. 36 millimeters in the heel, 28 millimeters under the forefoot. That is an 8 millimeter drop. And it feels really good. And it's not like the first version where there's a lesser amount that just feels like it's not enough. You get plenty of it underfoot. And that carbon plate in there also helps it feel quite good and snappy. The upper, I'm a huge fan of this upper. I think they're doing a really good job by creating a breathable, good looking, by minimizing the amount of stitching, the number of pieces, by reducing the overall thickness and size of the heel counter while still allowing it to wrap itself around your heel. I think the upper just comes together in a really comfortable and fitting way, which goes hand in hand with fit. I think this shoe is built to accommodate a lot of different foot types, and I think that's a great selling point for this thing. With a wider forefoot, a bit more accommodating fitment-wise, the asymmetrical lacing has a really good tie-down system. The ankle collar and the heel cup also hold to your foot really well. So all in all, the fit of the shoe is better than I thought, which kind of goes hand in hand with my final like, is that this shoe is approachable. And what I mean by that is a lot of the times when you get one of these hyper cushioned super shoes with the carbon plate and all of these really fancy gadgets and marketing and all that stuff at a very high price point, the shoe is designed for that upper echelon of athletes at the very front of a pack, that 1% up there. And they do tend to leave us mid-packers in the dust, both literally and metaphorically. What I'm happy to report on is that the RC Elite V2 is not just for the elite. I think as a mid-packer, I'm getting so much fun out of this shoe. Every time I put it on, every time I run in it, I'm like, man, this shoe is great. So I'm happy to report that while the price, which I'll get to in a second, is certainly alienating, the shoe itself is not. It is designed for the every runner who wants to go fast, who wants to set PRs. It is comfortable, it is accommodating, and it works really, really well. That being said, it's not all Molly Seidel bronze medals and delightful Leslie Jones commentary. There are a couple of things that I dislike about the RC Elite V2. Let's get to those now. First, and this is going to be the biggest one, and that's price. At $225, the RC Elite version 2 is an expensive shoe. It's very expensive. We're seeing this trend. I've talked about it on this channel before. These super shoes, these carbon plated shoes, the price points are high. They've been high since Nike started doing them. They have not really crept down. There's a couple brands that are doing, more affordable options, nylon plates and stuff like that from Saucony. But here we have the carbon plate. We have a lot of the fuel cell. We have a thin, very breathable upper. We have all of these elements that make for a front runner shoe or a PR shoe. But at $225, it's very expensive. If you're willing to forego a couple nights out on the town, people still do that, then, maybe this price point isn't such a huge deal. But at $225, I have to point it out. That, to me, is sort of its biggest drawback. Go get Mama.
Come on, let's go get your pills. It's pill time anyways, okay?
It's pill time. Tongue. Obviously, this is like a detailed sort of nuanced dislike, but the tongue sucks. It's very thin. It wants to slide all over the place. I am a big fan. Maybe this is just coming from the trail running world, but I like a good gusseted tongue. I'm not ashamed to say it. And gusseted tongues these days don't have to be huge, cumbersome things that cross your midfoot and cause all sorts of issues. They can be very subtle, they can be very thin and light and efficient. And man, when you start getting super thin tongues like this that want to slide around and like reveal your sock underneath, which is like, ooh, please put it back. Just give me a gusset. It's not that hard. I wouldn't know. And finally, insoles. So this is something I've had a problem with New Balance for quite some time. This isn't the first shoe to have it, but it's certainly a dislike. The insole wants to slide all over the place if things get a little sweaty or a little wet out there. And they want to slide out when you pull your foot out. They just want to go all over the place. So the insoles aren't stuck in there. There's no real method to allow them to stay in. Just be prepared, because the insoles are so thin and slippery, they will slide out with your foot and they'll allow your foot to slide around a little bit on the inside. Just a little dab of glue could solve that. But that, my friends, is it for dislikes. So let's get to the breakdown. Let's talk about the 5 criteria: build quality, comfort, fit, price, and looks. Starting with build quality. I have to say, the shoe is holding up much better than I thought. By being that top tier $225 carbon plated shoe, part of me thought, like, man, this isn't gonna last more than maybe 50 miles, 60 miles before you really start to see the breakdown. A couple of marathons, right? It's a race day only shoe. But I don't think that's the case. While I certainly think other New Balance shoes will work better as daily trainers, this could be the race day option for you. The materials are holding up much better than I anticipated. So yeah, I use this as a trainer. I think the materials are holding up quite well as a trainer. I have over 100 miles in this shoe, and the only wear I'm really seeing is underneath the forefoot on some of the outsole pads. That's it. It's pretty good. Comfort, I'm a big fan of fuel cell. I've talked about it before. There's plenty of bounce, there's plenty of cushion underfoot. It feels nice and soft while not taking away from your stride. I think if anything, it propels you forward. The carbon plate certainly helps. So comfort, I'm a big fan. I think this is a great marathon day shoe, half marathon or middle distance type shoe. I think this will work for a lot of different foot types. I think it'll work for a lot of different volumes, distances, speeds. Yeah, and it's a super comfortable shoe. Fit, better than I thought, more accommodating, more room up in the midfoot and forefoot. Make sure you get the right size, but I don't think that'll be a problem. It's fitting true to size for me. I get a little bit of toe overhang out here on the lateral side of the shoe. Not a lot, nothing significant, no irritation, but just something to make note of. I'm pretty pleased with the fit of the shoe. Price, this is the big woof, $225, big price point. Many of you might now be like, that's a normal price to pay for a carbon plated shoe, something that I'm gonna wear a lot. I do think you get plenty of miles per dollar out of this shoe. So that's, I guess, kind of the saving grace. And finally, looks. I do think it's a pretty good looking shoe. Big NB here on the side is probably the one element I dislike, but I do sort of like the retro vibes, the purple, the pink, the way each individual shoe has different colors underfoot. I think it's all very fun design, and I think New Balance took that to heart. There are some other color versions coming out that I'm also a big fan of. New Balance, their design department does good stuff. This is no exception. Bringing us to our conclusion. I'd say the New Balance FuelCell RC Elite version 2 is an awesome shoe. I've enjoyed all of my runs in this shoe, from short to long, fast to slow. The shoe can adapt and respond to really anything that you throw at it. So, speed days, tempo days, just long distance plods. It does a great job of that. I also like how the shoe sort of begins to fade into the background. You sort of forget what you're wearing. It's not one of those shoes that just demands attention, grabs you by the collar and like screams in your face, "Oh, I'm on your foot." It doesn't do that. It sort of just fades, and you just begin to enjoy your run. It'll be a solid marathon choice, middle distance choice, and a really solid rival up against any other carbon plated shoe that's out there. It's expensive, it's bold, but it is also holding up quite well. So that says a lot. And honestly, that might be the winning combo that a lot of you might be looking for. Bringing us to our final criteria. Is the New Balance RC Elite version 2 a buy, try, or a why? Many of you might be surprised. It's a buy. If you have the funds to buy a shoe like this, which I thought would be race day only and is not, it's holding up well. It's doing well for training and racing, speed days, all of that. It might be worth an investment in something like this. So I'm leaning towards buy on this. This might be the first $225 shoe that I'm actually saying buy to. I'm hesitant to say that, but of course, it's your money. You can do what you want with it. I personally really like this shoe, and I think it's a super fun one to add to your rotation, and it will last longer than I think you anticipate. So give it a shot. Check it out. That, my friends, is my review. Now the question turns to you. Have you raced or run in the RC Elite or version 2, which is what I'm holding here? I am super curious. In the comments of this video, let us know your experiences with the FuelCell RC Elite. I'm super curious to see what other people think. We've had some crew members who've actually gone out and purchased the shoe since I've talked about it on our Daily Brew live streams and stuff, and they've really, really loved it. They've reported back that, yeah, it's a great shoe and has worked well in all sorts of environments, from road to like gravel surfaces and stuff. So yeah, let us know in the comments, and we'll get that dialogue started. That's it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, all that stuff. If you would like to join our daily live streams or get some really cool perks or other cool projects behind the scenes and stuff, please consider joining our GR crew. All you gotta do is go to patreon.com/thegingerrunner. You can do that. We have some really fun stuff happening all the time. Again, GR, Tiger Claw, a whole bunch of fun new announcements coming soon. You're not gonna wanna miss those. We hope you're getting out there training hard, racing harder, and partying the hardest. I know I am. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you guys next week for more fun. Bye-bye.